How's it going, guys? It's Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing the Forest Moon Challenge tier, and we're going to be using this team here on the screen, led by Thrawn, Separatist Droids, and BB-8. So the reasoning behind this team is you've got Thrawn leadership, allowing you to utilize his maneuver ability, which allows for any of your characters to utilize maneuver. And what it does is it provides a little bit of turn meter to that character and allows them to take a turn fairly quickly. So how this team works is you want to keep passing turn meter onto B1, and you want to really prioritize building up those B1 battle droid stacks, as if you've got more stacks on that, you're going to apply so much more damage and you're going to be able to sustain Magna Guard here in the back. As Magna Guard is going to be pretty much taunted for the most part in this event, you're going to want to keep him healthy. So at this point, as I showed you, I utilized maneuver there, and Thrawn instantly has about 60% turn meter added right after that, and that's going to be pivotal later on, as I'm going to explain to you. So the idea is you want to keep Magna Guard healthy, but also if he's high in protection and health already, you want to pass the second B1 second ability onto B2 Super Battle Droid instead, and that just allows for B2 to apply his debuffs and eventually gains you more turn meter later on. So the strategy here at some points is not to clear the phases too quickly, as you want to try and get to about 200 B1 droid battalion stacks before you get into phase 4. Phase 4 is when it really gets tough, when you get to Teebo and his two minions on the side, as Teebo can essentially just annihilate your entire team. So at this point, I'm still building on my stacks. As you can see, I've got about 140 now. Every time Thrawn takes a turn, I never use my fracture and I never use my basic. I always use either the maneuver ability or just pass the turn meter onto B1, where I use, and then after that I use B1 second ability and try and regenerate a bit of protection onto Magna Guard. BB-8 helps here as well, as his second ability, his sway, actually allows for your separatist droids to gain a little bit of turn meter as well. So we're moving into phase 3 here. We're just taking it slow, just making sure we've got the taunt on Magna Guard here, and we're just keeping him healthy. We don't want to quickly go into phase 4. At this point, you want to look at the health of the Ewoks, as once you get rid of the Elder in the back, he's no longer going to be able to revive any of the Ewoks. And essentially what you really want to do is, before phase 4 starts, you want to get Thrawn's turn meter fairly high, as once you enter phase 4, you really want to quickly fracture Teebo and just incapacitate him, and then apply as much damage as you can to the elders on the sides. So as you can see, we're just utilizing the exact same strategy. We've got Thrawn at quite a high turn meter, and we don't want him to take a turn. So we're going to use our basic here. We're going to pass a little bit more there. We're going to try and get Thrawn up again. So we're at about 80%. So now we can drop this Ewok. And by the time we're at phase 4, Thrawn's going to take a turn. We're going to do the fracture on Teebo, and we're going to work on the side characters here. The great thing about this is that you've got two AoEs here. You've got AoE on B1 as well as B2. So even if you have the target cursor on just T-bow, you're going to be applying damage to every single one of them. And as you can see here, there's a couple of times where T-bow actually took a turn and almost dropped our relicked up Magna Guard. However, with enough droid battalion stacks, you're going to be able to regenerate a fair bit of protection on Magna Guard and keep him healthy. There's also an event ability here which allows for you to apply defense up to your character or whoever casts the ability. That may be useful on Magna Guard, as just allows for him to become more tanky and more difficult to take down. Once you're past phase 4, it's a little bit easier from here on. So as long as you've got above 200 B1 droid battalion stacks, you're pretty much game, set and match here. You're just going to be doing the exact same strategy the rest of the way. And for those of you asking why I didn't use Grievous, it's because of his Metalloid Monstrosity ability that just drops the health and protection of your droid characters whenever he takes a turn. And it'll eventually become problematic, as you won't be able to gain this much B1 droid battalion stacks with Grievous in the team. So I chose to use BB-8. As you can see, guys, I'm closing in on about 300 B1 battalion stacks, and B1 is now applying so much damage every single time he uses an ability. So by the time you're in phase 6, 7 and 8, it'll be so much easier just to drop all these Ewoks. So your priority target here is going to be Ewok Elder in the last phase, as you don't want him reviving any of the Ewoks here. But as you can see, guys, pretty straightforward. Keep Magna Guard healthy, have him at a decent relic level. And just before the video ends here, guys, I'm going to show you the mods towards the end. The idea here is you want to get Magna Guard as tanky as possible, so I've modded him for protection primarily and health. B1 needs a ton of damage, so you're going to mod him for optimal offense, and a bonus would be if you can get him as high speed as possible as well. I believe I've got my B1 at about 260, 270 speed, so nothing too crazy. However, I found it worked well for this event. My B2 Super Battle Droid I've modded for predominantly potency. I want him to apply as many target lock as he possibly can and just keep spreading the turn meter around. Grand Admiral Thrawn, just needed him a little bit tanky without diminishing speed. So I believe I have him at about 300 speed, which is pretty decent. So you want all offense primaries on the B1 there with an offense set. About 262 speed and almost 10,000 offense. keep in mind I've got a decent amount of relics I've invested in these separatist droids. So it may look easier the more relics you've got on your characters, but this should still work in low relic levels. But I do suggest that you at least have Magna Guard Relic 1 or 2. As I remember when I had him Gear 12, it was an RNG battle, as sometimes he wouldn't survive that hit from T-Bow, and that just made things so problematic for the team. BB-8 I've just got at a decent speed as well, about 296, and you just want to use his convert data transfer as much as you can and Illuminated Destiny. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content today. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.